All right, welcome back. Fit to Live Radio. This is season 5, episode 1. Welcome to the season opener. Woo! We have Trina with us. So, season 5, episode 1, we have Why is Consistency Boring? Because we have 5 seasons and there's 16 episodes each. So, if you like consistency, you got 4 more seasons to listen to. News and events, June 18th. Today, when it comes out for you, no, that's Saturday. Tomorrow, when it comes out, we have a ruck at Prairie Wolf Park in Caledonia area. Meet at the gym at noon with me, Mike, and then we'll go over to Prairie Wolf Park and walk around with a weight vest or a weighted backpack, or if you got a kid, strap that kid to your back or your chest, and we'll go for a walk. Then on June 19th, we are hosting a Father's Day workout. This will be at 10 a.m. Bring your dad, or if you are a dad and your son is of age, bring your son with you for a free workout. Then clinic-wise, we have the Muscle Up Clinic.
Or daughter.
Or daughter, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to be that exclusive. Bring your daughter if you're a dad, that's fine.
She can never be a dad.
She can never be a dad. It's not true. Clinic-wise, today when this comes out, June 17th, Bobby's hosting the Muscle Up Clinic at 4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And then a week from today is the Handstand Clinic, which will be June 24th at 4:30 as well. And these both lead into the gymnastics course with more details to come. We will keep you informed. And then on June 26th from 10 a.m. to noon, if you're a local team within the Grand Rapids area, we are hosting some Fresh Coast competition prep at the gym, Friction, again 10 a.m. to noon. So come on out, prep for the games, the Fresh Coast games, not the CrossFit games. But why
That's
is
next week.
That's next week. Yeah, we're getting there. So why is consistency so freaking boring?
Easy answer, Mike. It's because it's not exciting.
True.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Nobody cares. You're really, if you're at to the point where you're working on consistency, that can come in many forms, right? It might be showing up, being in the place. If it's, fitness, you're already showing up, you're being consistent. You're probably at a point where you're not trying new exercises or new progressions. You're not learning as much as you were before. Now you're doing, right? You just have to kind of keep doing the thing. So and for a lot of people, new performance improvements are maybe more in the horizon, and it's going to require work to get there at this point. And you know what you need to do. So now you just need to put in the reps and recover, and you're literally waiting for the next workout to start and to get sore and to recover and continue to adapt. And nobody really gets excited about hitting percentage work or working drills over and over, but that is what it takes. And yeah, it's what you said earlier, Mike. Motivation does not breed success. Success breeds motivation, and success requires action. So act. Damn it.
Yeah, it's like Bobby said, you're kind of past this learning phase and you kind of know all that you need to know right now, and you just have to go out, do the drills over and over to get better at them, to achieve whatever you want, if it's ring muscle up or a faster 2K row time or whatever.
Yeah, I think sometimes too, we think that consistency is not exciting, because it is kind of boring, but at the same time, after we get done, maybe it's, you've just been consistently, myself, been consistently working out for, I grew up playing sports and I've been doing this fitness thing for over 7 years, so it's sometimes I don't feel like working out, but because I consistently do it, after I get done with the workout, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, we want to be inspired, right? That's typically why we got into it in the first place. Maybe you saw somebody do something really cool with a barbell, or they did a awesome gymnastic movement, or they post some transformation picture or a video, or you hear somebody's story. We're drawn to these things that have to be earned, right? These things that take a lot of work, but the work required it's not appealing. We're not drawn to that, right? So, you see a muscle up, somebody does a muscle up, you see that maybe for the first time, or you see it in person, you go, wow, that's really cool. And then we've heard it from members all the time, oh, that looks really cool, and they'll say so, and then, what they see is the end product. They're not seeing all the work done prior to the completion of the rep. That stuff doesn't look cool, right? So this is like, you know, a training montage for a movie. If it was only the training and the hero or the champ, whoever the character is, like never won the fight or took down their adversary, it's basically remove the end scene of the movie, remove the end scene of the training montage, remove the theatrical music, just put it on mute and play it over and over again. It's, you know, Ben Affleck training to take down Superman and as Batman, and he's just pulling a sled and doing back squats and doing chin-ups, and like, and then let that play for 45 minutes and then restart the video the next day for the next couple of weeks, for the next couple of months, and that's what consistency looks like. You just kind of put it on repeat and you continue to work. No fancy music, no, you know, heroic thing at the end, and I mean, eventually, but
Yeah, it's like you said, like you're literally just waiting for the moment for all of your consistent efforts to pay off or show up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've been hitting this, like you said, no one gets excited about hitting percentages and working drills, and it's like, okay, like I hit 70% over and over and over and over again. It's like finally it gets to a point where it's like, I know I can hit it every single time with perfect form or near perfect form. That tells you something right there, like, hey, there's probably some kind of PR coming, or like your technique is getting so much better, like, but it is boring to do.
yeah. And I think we didn't take notes on this, but like there's a different level of awareness when you get to that consistency phase where you do become aware of like, oh, my drills, they're so much easier. They're becoming more natural, or like I am being more consistent with my 70%, my 80% is feeling like less effort, and like you just have a different level of awareness. And I think that's, you know, you can go back to when you played sports, you played soccer, like, you know, practice is easier, you're more consistently beating your teammates in drills, you're getting the ball quicker, you become confident that like, okay, I can do these things. And I think consistency and confidence, that's that level of awareness. Like those two start to go in hand. Like when you become consistent, you become confident as well, and you know you can do things because you are in the process of putting in the work and earning it.
Yeah. And as soon as that moment happens, like if you're working on like snatch percentages or whatever, and you are consistently hitting 70, 80, and 90%, and then you PR your snatch, guess what? Starts all over again.
Yeah.
So really it's like you want to be consistent to reach your goal, but not for the goal's sake. You just want to be consistent for consistency's sake, like for your health and for your own strength.
Mhm.
Really.
Yeah, I think that's what it shows you, is that consistency works, right? Like if you can hit those percentages all the time, like it is going to lead to other things. If you can, you know, get into the routine of eating the same thing every day, like it's going to work in that aspect of your nutrition as well. You know, like less decision that you have to make. You don't have to worry about what's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, what snacks do I eat, whatever. Like you just lean into the process, do it consistently every day, that it becomes a habit. You don't have to focus on it anymore.
I think you also get like peace of mind with consistency, right? Especially if you know it works. Like it's yielded results. You know, I just kept showing up. I kept doing what the coaches told me to do, and I put my head down and I just grinded, or I got uncomfortable and I stayed there, and I did that for 3 months, and gosh darn it, I got a mile run PR, or I hit a PR on Karen, and I just showed up. If you know that that's going to yield results, like you don't really have to do anything else. Like you don't need any more information. You're doing the action. You know it's going to give you results. So you don't have to think about, well, what do I have to do to hit a heavier snatch? What do I have to do to improve my conditioning? It's like, I know, I'm doing it. It's happening.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
it's just time can do what time does, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's literally going back to that thing of like, you're just waiting.
Yep.
You're just in this like, kind of like this limbo of like, okay, I'm doing the same thing every day. When is the thing going to happen? Like, when am I going to step on the scale and see a big number
Yeah.
go down? Like, when am I going to see that my percentages go up, or I do hit a PR? Like,
Yeah, I just saw a post from Ed Cohen. So Ed Cohen is like one of the best power lifters of all time, and people are asking questions like, hey, how did it take to, or what did it take to like do what you did in your powerlifting career? And he's like, it wasn't about doing any crazy program. He's like, we knew what the program was. We knew what it was going to be year after year, and it was just about having a good training session, week or day stacked on top of day, week stacked on top of week, and then as you know, for those guys, you know, being a professional in powerlifting, it's really like playing long game. Like, you don't need to jump ahead and try to hit a big number early. Just let the program work. Do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
On the same note, Eddie Hall, who was world's strongest man, during his strongman career, he put a post out and said he never missed a squat in his strongman career. Like, wow, you just were very consistent and did what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Didn't get too excited, like, oh, I'm going to throw on some weight that I might not get. It's like, no, you have pretty clear instructions on what you're supposed to do today. Like,
Yeah.
just do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and even like in the case of weightlifting too, covering all kind of strength sports, like Donnie Schenkel is one of the most well-known American weightlifters. And if you don't know, now you know. But one of the things that he would always say about weightlifting is just put another kilo on and do it again. That's all weightlifting is, and that's how you get better is, you know, once a week, put another kilo on the bar, 2.2 pounds, or just slide those 2.5s on, and just do the same thing over. Do that for months and years at a time, and that'll get you there,
Yeah.
wherever there is.
I think that kind of takes us into that next piece of like consistency. You have to remember it's like a long-term thing. You know, when you start some kind of like fitness program, or you know, you start changing your lifestyle habits and you're trying to work that in consistently, like that's something that you have to know that you're doing forever and not just, you know, a few weeks at a time.
Right. It's like when we run a class and we go, hey, if you don't have your pull-up yet, here's what I want you to work on, right? And it's like, well, when do I get yet? When does the yet happen? Like, is it going to be, you know, is it next week? It's like, well, it totally depends, right? Like, that might be like a few years down the road. So modify it and work on what you can work on for today, and approach the workout you're supposed to approach it with respect to your abilities, and just keep working that.
Yeah, it's interesting because like sometimes I think about my own fitness journey and like honestly I don't really know when I started being able to do things I could do. It was just like you just keep showing up and things got easier or they got better.
Yeah.
I was able to do it one day. It's like it was never like a goal, like I need to be able to do this by this time. It was kind of just like it'll happen when it happens.
And like, then you know, I mean, then you just remove expectations, right? If I'm, you know, take away like the endpoints and just say like, okay, I don't need to squat X amount of pounds, like I just need to squat.
Yeah.
And my legs will get stronger.
In all reality, yeah. Yeah. It's, the way I see it is it's more of like day to day and even moment by moment of like having, if I want to get better, I put a goal on the board, our goals board a few years ago. I think it might have been 2018 or 2019. But it said go dark every day. And just like, for me, that was whatever that day offered, I would give like everything I had, whether it was 100% or 80%. Like whatever it was, I'm going to give it all and just let the process kind of do its thing. And I feel like I got really fit. And I'm kind of back in that mindset where it's, I don't, like Bobby said, I don't want to squat a certain number. I just want to squat, if it's heavy that day, I want to squat heavy that day. Whatever that looks like. It could be 70 pounds less than what I hit 3 years ago or 20 pounds less. But nonetheless, it was heavy for me that day, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's like the annual reminder every year the open rolls around is go do the open, go a lot harder than I thought I could go. Maybe come to the realization that, I can actually go a lot harder and I can get more uncomfortable and I can actually stay there and then, you know, have that moment afterwards, whether it's talking amongst other people or you're driving home from that, you're like, I should do that more often. I'd be a lot fitter. And like, you know, I find myself back in that same boat. It's like, I just need to do more of that nasty training where I like push it more often. Like if I would just do that more often, I would get better results. And I, you know, I think it's good that, you know, pseudo competition, that competition comes around every year. It's like, okay, I'm at a different point, but the rule is always going to be the same. Like you just have to push as hard as you can, whatever it is, it's going to yield the results that you want.
Yep, and it's a forest for the trees thing. Like, to go back, if we do like a nutrition example, like the trees are the daily habit. Like, I know what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then when you zoom out, you see the whole forest, and that's maybe 1 or 2 years where you've lost 50 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
you can't have one without the other.
Right.
You can't just skip to that 50-pound weight loss.
Yeah, it's like every time you check in, it's like 2 pounds here, 2
Yeah.
pounds there,
Mhm.
3 pounds. Oh, I did really well and I lost 5, and now I'm back to 2 pounds. But then, like, you look at it over time, and like you said, it's like 2 years goes by and you're like, oh my gosh, I lost 50 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
And all you did was just stay consistent every day.
Yeah, I've said it to a few people. It's like, wow, man, like in 3 months I did this, and this. I'm like, yeah, imagine what a year or 2 years could do.
Yeah.
You might level off, but when you look back at your progress, it's going to be this huge upward trend or downward trend, depending on what you're looking at.
Yep. I think too, like, I love the analogy of like climbing a mountain, right? Like, you may start out at level ground and then you're working through the foothills and you're getting to like your first base camp, and then you're starting to work more upright angles and you're at the next camp and then further up, and you know, the higher you get on that mountain, the better the view gets. You can look back and say like, wow, look what I've done, look what I can see now, look what I can understand, and look what I can appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
The further up you go, and eventually it's not, it's a metaphor, right? But like, you're gonna have a better view on the top of the mountain. You're gonna have a better understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna appreciate things a lot more. But it's just literally get out of your tent every day, bring the tent a little bit higher up the mountain.
You'll get there. And a quick note, going the other way, you can be doing things wrong and not make progress. So like, the pros of consistency is it works, but the cons of consistency, if you're doing it incorrectly, like I consistently skip the gym or I consistently eat poorly, you're not going to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
As far as like fitness wise.
You'll get the results of that consistency, whatever it is.
Yeah. Consistency will give you whatever is earned in a way.
Yeah.
It will give you what it gives you. In a way.
Yeah. If I consistently squat with poor form, then I'm going to yield really bad knee joints.
Yeah.
Eventually, or hip or back joints, right? So.
Back and knees will consistently hurt.
Yeah, exactly, right? You can flip that around to whatever you want that to be, but
Yeah.
like, what's my current problem? Well, what am I currently doing wrong consistently? Okay, let me change that and then just stick to that consistently.
Yeah.
And I think the thing with that too is like, if you find a habit that like you do want to change because you have been doing it consistently for so long, like you also have to know that might be really hard to break.
Mhm.
Because the other thing with consistency is because it does become a habit.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're consistent in something, it's like the days I don't want to work out. It's a habit though, so I still do it. I feel
Yep.
better.
It's
But-
easy to hold that. Like, but if I consistently eat poorly, then I become disciplined in the practice of eating poorly.
Right.
And so I'm going to want to go back to what I do well, or what I have done well with, which is going to the same burger joint, or, at the end of the night, wake up in the middle of the night and go eat that thing I know I shouldn't, but I feel all right about it because nobody sees it, right?
Right.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. And if you're trying to make a positive change, if it feels different and unfamiliar and difficult, good.
Yeah.
It should, because
That's
it's
that.
different and it's
Imposter syndrome, right? Like, who am I? I keep doing these things that I don't normally do, good or bad, right? But eventually you keep doing the things and then you start to buy in. You're like, well, that's actually is me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm taking action on it. I'm following through with it, and it keeps happening, and you just keep doing that, and you're going to find the results, or the results are going to find you.
That's right.
They're coming for you.
Watch out. And the ending question, where do you want consistency in your life? And for the answer, you should email Mike at Friction Grand Rapids, or Bobby at Friction Grand Rapids, or Trina at Friction Grand Rapids, or you can DM us on Instagram and Facebook at Friction Grand Rapids. And you should consistently listen to us on Stitcher, Buzzsprout, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We would
That's
say
it, man.
Yeah.
Really well done there, Mike. Bonus question. Message us. How many times did we say consistency today?
Winner gets
A chicken dinner.
a chicken
All right,
dinner.
bye.
Also a Fit Aid when you come in. Bye.